I'm Samantha Joseph and this is the magazine. Today we join a team competing in the Lions Club 3rd annual Amazing Race.
The Marlboro Lions Club held their 3rd annual Amazing Race that is loosely based off the Emmy-winning series on CBS. These 18 teams don't fly all over the world to complete tasks. They will drive all over Marlboro and just over the city limits. This fun and exciting family day is the brainchild of Main Street Journal owner Jim Ash and Lions Club member Randy Scott.
Randy and I spent some time just scheming up ideas, and we start writing down ideas we have and locations. And we both know a lot about area locations from biking, hiking, things we do. So we scheme up ideas and we put them on a list, and then when we get near race time, we start to decide what are the 10 or 12 stages we want to do and what's the best location for them.
Since the Lions Club is all about giving back to the community, the money raised goes to charity. All the participants, from the winners to the last team checking in, get a well-deserved dinner, compliments of the Main Street Cafe.
And the prize is just in the fulfillment, really. And at the end of the race today, they come back down to my restaurant, Main Street Cafe, and we feed them and we have a great time.
There were many different legs of the race. The first leg had teams retrieving water from a large basin to fill up a 1-gallon jug. They could use 2 8-ounce cups or a giant bag, which was filled with tiny holes. The third leg of the race is swing into action. A team designee must hula hoop for 30 seconds at Galone Park. Until they can master this, they can't move on.
None of us is going to figure this out.
I can figure it, just gotta...
30 seconds, you know how long that is?
Another leg of the race was Colonial Games. Teams had to construct 4 old-fashioned toys to the satisfaction of toy maker Bob Leduc. One of the toys, a top, then had to pass the spin test. The top had to stay up for a full 60 seconds in order for the team to move on to the next leg. In pitch and catch, teams had to toss pennies to each other using cups. They had to catch 8 out of 10 throws. Once they completed this task, they got to move on, and they were that much closer to the end of the Lions Club Amazing Race. The first team to make it to the Main Street Cafe was the Marlboro Moms. Even though they will be back to defend their title at the next race, they didn't mind offering up advice to any future teams.
Pay attention to detail.
Yes.
Wear good sneakers. Yeah. And work as a team. Yeah.
And read all the clues thoroughly.
Yeah.
Although not everyone finished first, you could see that all the teams had a great time. If you've ever watched The Amazing Race on CBS and wondered if you could do it too, the Lions Club competition is a great measuring stick.
Thanks for watching the magazine. If you have any stories or ideas for us, you can email us at magazine@WMCT-TV.com. I'm Samantha Joseph, and we'll see you in the next edition. Hi, I'm Samantha Joseph and this is the magazine. Today, we're learning about harvesting the power of rainwater.
From windmills and solar panels to electric cars, the green movement is sweeping the country. Unfortunately, many of these green initiatives are quite costly for most Americans. One area where the average person can make a difference is in the area of water conservation, namely rainwater harvesting.
So rain harvesting is when you take rainwater and you put it into some kind of container, either like a rain barrel to use in your garden, or there's some elaborate underground storage systems that bigger companies can use to reuse that water in different ways so that you're using rainwater instead of water that's treated coming out of the tap.
In addition to saving a couple of bucks in the wallet, as Mark Packard from Sterling Greenery tells us, there are a number of other practical reasons for collecting rainwater at your home.
A lot of places right now you can't even tap into town water for irrigation outdoors. They won't even let you have it.
and there are new laws coming out now that you can't even drill a well for irrigation outdoors. So there's really going to be one or two solutions. Don't water your lawn or use rainwater harvesting.
Right now, anytime you water your lawn, that water that you took from your hose has come from the treatment plant, so it has to come out of the reservoir, be treated. It takes energy to do that, takes chemicals to do that, and then that clean water needs to be pumped through the pipes and then back to your home. So there's a cost related to that. If you can just catch the water off your roof during a rainstorm, contain it in a rain barrel, and then you can just reuse that when it's sort of in a drought situation.
Using a barrel is a great way to get started, though most barrels only hold 55 to 75 gallons of water, which means it won't take long before they are overflowing, leaving little water to use on your entire lawn. One alternative to barrels is an underground system with a 3,000 gallon capacity. We caught up with Mark at a home in Worcester where he recently installed one of these systems.
It's sitting in this nice little decorative gravel, and this gravel is actually filtering the water. So we get recirculation and we get filtration through the gravel. So this is all you see with a 3,000 gallon system. Now right over here, I have an access point for all the water that we're storing. I'm just going to take this cover off and look down in here, and underneath here we have a pump that's recirculating. So this is where we get to our pump in the winter if we need to, and that pump actually circulates the water through this decorative fountain. But underneath here, 6 feet down, is this snorkel and centipede. So this cover right here is where we access our pump, and we can get in there to get to our pumps if we need to. So that goes down 6 feet, and then we go into this centipede. This is an underground centipede, so all the water will actually go through this gravel and then into the centipede, and then the pump drags all the water from here up into our irrigation system. Now the other thing we have underground here is what we call aquablocks. Aquablocks are engineered to take a load underground. So instead of filling that whole system with gravel, we actually put these big aquablocks underneath. We stack them all on top of each other. We line them all up, and that way all the water can fill in between these aquablocks, and we get a larger volume of water underground, more so than we would with just filling it with gravel. All right, so now the question is, how do we get all that water off our roof into our system? Well, right here we have our downspout. All the water comes down this downspout and through our first flush filter. That'll keep your system from getting clogged. I have the filter for you right here. This filter actually gets buried in the ground, as you can see, and you can cover it with some decorative rock. All the water goes through that filter and through a net that'll catch any sediment that comes off your roof. Now this net will catch any debris so that your system doesn't get clogged. After it goes through that net, it'll go right into this tank and out through the outflow pipe. That outflow pipe gets connected to a piece of ADS drain pipe. It clicks right in, just like that. Then all the water goes right down the pipe and into our system. Now what we need to do is get it plumbed into our irrigation system or our garden hose. So you can see right here, coming out of our system, we have a pipe coming up and going into a booster pump. Now this booster pump will actually supply pressure to either your hose or an irrigation system. I'm going to turn the hose on right now, and you can see that this booster pump will actually turn on automatically when it needs to. That'll supply pressure to our system. So the water is coming in here through our booster pump and then into our system. I'm going to turn on the hose here to water these plants. And you can see the pump will turn on automatically and give us pressure for the hose. Now that's some good pressure. There's many benefits to using rainwater for irrigation. One, you're not using our precious drinking water to use on your lawn and in your garden. Two, it's actually better water for your lawn and for your garden because it has all the good stuff still in it. It hasn't been filtered or treated so that it's safe for drinking. Three, we actually decreased the amount of runoff off this property by capturing all the water off the roof and putting it into an underground system to use it slowly for irrigation. Now this property actually saved over 10,000 gallons of water in a 5-week period. It saved from using drinking water for irrigation, and it actually captured 10,000 gallons of water that would have gone into the sewers of Worcester.
Next time you water your lawn or garden, you might want to think about where that water is coming from and how you can save money and resources by using the water that falls off our rooftops.
The less water we pull out of the ground, in Marlboro we get surface water, so it's not such a big deal, but in communities where you have well water, you know, and when you have drought situations, it's really important for people not to, you know, to be aware of where the water's coming from and how it gets used.
Thanks for watching the magazine. If you have any story ideas, you can email us at magazine@WMCT-TV.com. I'm Samantha Joseph, and we'll see you in the next edition. Hi, I'm Samantha Joseph. Today on the magazine, we're going to introduce you to a veteran who was recently recognized for his service in World War II. 65 years after returning home from Europe at the conclusion of World War II, 94-year-old Henry Marchant of Marlborough received the French Legion of Honor Award at a ceremony held at the Wayside Inn.
Well, it all started when I got a letter from the French Consul General in Boston notifying me that I was selected.
The Legion of Honor is the highest honor that is awarded by France. The medal is awarded only in cases of exemplary military and civilian service.
I was a member of the Yankee Division, and we landed in France in 44.
Henry, who was born in Leominster, moved to Watertown, where as a teenager he met his wife of nearly 70 years. The couple talked about marriage, but thinking he would be out of the service after his 12-month commitment, the couple decided to wait.
Before the draft, Dottie and I had been going together for 3 years, and we wanted to get married, and her mother we knew that the draft was a possibility, and her mother wisely asked us to wait until after I served my term, 12 months, a year. So we agreed. Dottie was young. So when Pearl Harbor was struck, we decided to get married. Her mother had, 2 weeks to put a wedding together. And we had a very nice wedding.
When the war began, Henry was first stationed stateside on coastal patrol. Then a couple years later, he was sent to Cherbourg, France, where the French people were very happy to see some friendly faces.
Well, when we got to France, the German troops were in every city and town, and they were in charge. It must have been terrible for the French to be under the heel of the Germans, because they ruled everything. They were happy to see the Americans come and liberate them. We also liberated a few of those death camps.
Conditions in France were less than optimal for the troops stationed there.
It rained just about every day at night, and it was cold and wet, and there was no way of getting dry clothes. We lived in wet clothes, and I remember waking up one morning with an inch of snow on it. They fed us K rations and C rations, always a few cigarettes in it. And standing in a foxhole, cold and wet, and it was, so you chain smoked. It felt like it was going to warm your hands anyway.
Even confronted with such atrocious living conditions, Henry's company captured a strategic hill where his unit suffered a number of casualties and Henry was wounded. Henry recovered quickly, and after 3 days of combat, the Nazi-occupied city of Metz finally fell, thanks in part to the heroic acts of Henry Marchant. When Henry finally received word that he would be heading home, it was easier said than done. The journey took him through Czechoslovakia, Marseille, Casablanca, Portugal, Newfoundland, and Maine. From there, he took a train to Camp Edwards, where he would be home free now, right?
Well, we didn't get discharged there either, so we had to go up to Fort Devens. We landed at Fort Devens on a Friday night, and Saturday morning I found out that they don't process anybody on Saturdays. Now, I hadn't been home. A friend of mine knew somebody that was stationed in the barracks there, so he gave us each a pass, which we forged, and I didn't care. We were going home.
In addition to his most recent medal, Henry has been awarded 2 Purple Hearts, the European African Middle Eastern Campaign Ribbon, and the Good Conduct Medal. But mention these awards to Henry and he quickly downplays his actions and gives credit to the many other soldiers he fought alongside of.
If you were in the same circumstance, you'd do the same thing I did.
That's it for this edition. If you have any story or ideas for us, you can email us at magazine@wmct-tv.com. I'm Samantha Joseph. Thanks for watching. Hi, I'm Samantha Joseph, and this is The Magazine. Today we take a look at several historical monuments in the city of Marlborough.
The Hiker Volunteer Monument is located on Bates Avenue. It was erected in 1902. It honors those who fought in the Spanish-American War, which only lasted for 4 months from April 25th to August 12th, 1898. Men from Marlborough serving in Company F, 6th Regiment were among the first to be ready for this conflict. Past and present mayors, clergy, and other prominent citizens gathered at City Hall on the eve of their departure. Civil War veteran William Frost spoke to the Company F on behalf of former soldiers. "We sorrow with you. We rejoice with you and are proud of it, because we can't help it. It makes no odds whether you are fighting or not. You are entitled to honor just the same." 15,000 people came to see the soldiers off to Muster Field in South Framingham on May 7th. Trains whistled, cannons boomed, and citizens cheered for our soldiers. Company F would then head from Framingham to Camp Alger in Virginia. The Old Sixth then headed by boat to Santiago de Cuba, where they were in the line of reserve during the Battle of Santiago. They also fought in the battles of Guamaca and Yanco Road in Puerto Rico. Willis H. Page died on the transport and was buried at sea. Ernest E. Marshall became the first American soldier to be buried in Puerto Rico. Arrangements were made to bring his body back to Marlborough 1 year later for burial. Cornelius Donahue, Louis Sasserville, George Lynch, and C.R. Donahue were either hospitalized in Puerto Rico or sent home with fever and malaria. Despite horrible conditions, the Marlborough Boys continued to fight for their country and helped secure a successful end to the war. On May 7, 1898, Company F departed Marlborough with a show of magnificent enthusiasm from grateful residents. Upon their return on October 27th of the same year, they were greeted with an outpouring of gratitude. This time, the crowd was even bigger. Homes and storefronts were decorated with flags, and a welcoming line was formed to escort the soldiers all the way to City Hall. The Doughboy Monument, which stands in front of the Walker Building on Main Street, honors those from Marlborough who fought in World War I. Several city parks are also dedicated to Oscar O. Blanchett, William Monroe Brigham, and William A. Howe. Even though the United States didn't officially enter the war until 1917, men from Marlborough were brought into the Army to train as early as July 1st, 1916. They became Company F, 181st Infantry of the 26th Division. They would be known as the Yankee Division. On April 6th of 1917, the soldiers were given their orders to join the battalion at Fitchburg. Large crowds gathered at the armory while hundreds of others lined the streets to send off our boys. Some of the soldiers that were the first to leave for France were Silvio Moino, Joseph Silvestri, Arthur Blanchett, Simon Ramey, Alphonse McCabe, Wilbrud Conrad, Arthur Kinder, William King, Matthew McBride, William Delaney, Amadeo Gornelis, Thomas Daly, Alphonse Labossiere, Alfred Bison, Wilrose Sasserville, and Patrick Kofleis. The Yankee Division is on record as being one of the finest of the Allied expeditionary forces in World War I. For their efforts during a heavy assault in Bois Brûlé near the town of Armont, they received a Special Honor of Action in April of 1918. The war ended in November of 1919. In May of the following year, a war exhibit train arrived in Marlborough accompanied by men who had served in American, British, and French armies. Cannons, guns, and war implements taken from the German forces were on display. A memorial service was held on May 30th in the State Armory for those who did not return from the war. The following day, a special celebration was held to honor the veterans. The Roll of Honor, a World War II monument, stands out in front of City Hall, honoring all the Marlborough soldiers from that war. On December 7, 1941, Pearl Harbor was attacked. The entire country was affected. 3 Marlborough men stationed in Pearl Harbor wrote home about the tragic events. Due to the city's strong commitment to the war, the quotas for registration were always filled. Citizens played an active role, volunteering for various duties coordinated by Marlborough's Committee on Public Safety for Civilian Defense. On May 20th of 1942, the first Marlborough man reported missing in action was Sergeant M.J. Bracken. The first to be killed was Private Woodrow A. Hood. Many Marlborough men were decorated for bravery, receiving Purple Hearts, Legions of Merit, and Silver and Bronze Stars. Marlborough lost 76 soldiers. After the war ended in 1945, Marlborough City Councilors adopted a plan for a celebration over Labor Day weekend. 20,000 residents attended and played softball and baseball games. They also watched entertainment, fireworks, and a parade. In memory of the town's great sacrifice, there were special religious and memorial services for the mothers, widows, and next of kin of Marlborough's beloved dead.
Thanks for watching the magazine. If you have any stories or ideas, you can email us. We'd love to hear. I'm Samantha Joseph. We'll see you next week.